She was my boss, the kind everyone feared, the kind who never smiled, until the night she grabbed my hand on the dance floor, trembling, and whispered, "Please don't leave me." In that moment, I realized the strongest woman I knew was hiding a secret that could change both our lives forever. I thought it was just another company party, just another awkward night pretending to belong, until my boss, the coldest woman in the room, walked straight toward me and asked me to dance. The music was loud, the lights were dim, and the room was filled with laughter that didn't feel real to me. I stood near the corner, holding a glass I hadn't even touched, watching my colleagues laugh too hard at jokes that weren't funny. I had always been invisible in places like this, just another employee trying to survive. Then she walked in. Everyone fell silent for a second, like the air itself respected her presence. She was known for her sharp mind and even sharper attitude. No one dared to get too close to her. Not in meetings, not in conversations, and definitely not in personal matters. She was a wall no one could break. But that night, something was different. Her eyes scanned the room, not with authority, but with something softer, something lost. And then, unexpectedly, those eyes stopped on me. I looked away quickly, assuming it was a coincidence. Why would she notice me? But then I heard footsteps approaching. "Why are you standing here alone?" her voice came, calm but unfamiliar in tone. I turned, surprised. I just prefer quiet places." She looked at me for a moment, studying me like she was trying to understand something deeper. Then she extended her hand. "Dance with me." I froze. The room felt like it had paused just to watch this moment. Me? Dance with her? "I don't think that's a good idea," I said nervously. Her lips curved slightly, not into her usual controlled smile, but something more human. "For once, don't think. Just come." And somehow, I did. On the dance floor, everything felt unreal. Her hand in mine was warm, but her grip was slightly unsteady. Up close, I noticed something no one else ever seemed to see: she wasn't confident tonight. She was scared. "You're shaking," I said quietly. She didn't deny it. Instead, she stepped closer, her voice barely audible over the music. "Just stay." That was the moment I realized, this wasn't just a dance. Chapter 2 Hook. As the music slowed and the world around us disappeared, she held on to me tighter, and that's when she whispered the words that changed everything: "Please don't leave me." Her voice broke something inside me. This wasn't the woman everyone feared. This wasn't the untouchable boss who never showed weakness. This was someone fragile, someone human, someone who had been carrying too much alone. I didn't pull away. "I'm not going anywhere," I said softly, though I didn't fully understand what she meant yet. She closed her eyes for a second, as if those words were the only thing keeping her standing. We moved slowly with the music, but her grip tightened, like she was afraid I might disappear if she let go. "I hate crowds," she admitted after a moment. I was surprised. "Then why come?" "Because I have to," she replied. "People expect me to be strong all the time. Perfect. Untouchable." Her voice trembled again. "But tonight, I couldn't do it anymore." For the first time, I saw the weight she carried, the expectations, the loneliness, the constant pressure to never break. "And you chose me?" I asked quietly. She looked at me then, really looked at me. "Because you're the only one who doesn't look at me like I'm above you, or like you're afraid of me." I didn't know what to say. So I just stayed. We kept dancing long after the music changed, long after people stopped watching. In that moment, it felt like the entire world had faded away, leaving just the two of us, two people who didn't belong anywhere else. "Do you ever feel alone?" she asked suddenly. "All the time," I answered honestly. She smiled faintly. "Then maybe, we understand each other more than we thought." That night didn't end with a grand confession or dramatic promises. It ended quietly, with her walking out beside me instead of ahead of me, like she always did. But something had changed. The next day at work, she was still my boss, still composed, still respected, still distant. But sometimes, when no one was looking, our eyes would meet, and I'd see that same vulnerability, that same silent plea. And I'd nod, just slightly, as if to say, I'm still here. Because sometimes love doesn't begin with perfect moments. Sometimes it begins with fear, with broken walls, with a simple request in the middle of a dance. Please don't leave me. And the most powerful thing you can do, is stay. As the music slowed and her grip on my hand tightened, she leaned closer and whispered something I never expected to hear from her, please don't leave me. In that moment, I realized this night wasn't about dancing, it was about everything she had been hiding. The rest of the night passed in a strange, quiet blur. Even though the music kept changing and people kept laughing around us, it felt like we were standing still, like time had decided to give us a moment that belonged only to us. She didn't let go of my hand, not even when the song ended. Can we step outside? She asked softly. This time, there was no hesitation in my answer. Of course. We walked out together, past the same people who once feared her and ignored me. But something had shifted. She wasn't walking ahead like she always did, she walked beside me. Outside, the night air was cool, almost calming. The noise from inside faded, replaced by a silence that felt honest. She wrapped her arms around herself slightly, as if trying to hold something together inside her. I'm sorry, she said after a long pause. For what? For showing you that side of me. I shook my head gently. You don't have to apologize for being human. She let out a quiet breath, almost like she'd been holding it in for years. You don't understand. My whole life, I've had to be strong. If I show weakness, people take advantage. They stop respecting you. They stop listening. And tonight? I asked. Tonight, she hesitated, looking down at her hands, I just couldn't pretend anymore. There was something fragile in the way she said it. Not broken, but close to it. I stepped a little closer, not too much, just enough for her to feel she wasn't alone. You don't have to pretend with me. She looked up at me then, her eyes searching mine like she was trying to decide if I meant it. Why? She asked. Why are you being so kind to me? I smiled faintly. Maybe because I know what it feels like to be alone in a room full of people. That answer stayed between us, filling the silence with something warmer than words. For the first time, she smiled, not the controlled, professional smile everyone knew, but something real. Something soft. You're different, she said quietly. So are you, I replied. She laughed lightly, shaking her head. No. I just hide it better. We stood there for a while, talking about small things at first, work, life, random memories, but slowly, those conversations turned deeper. She told me about the pressure she carried, the expectations, the loneliness that came with success. And I listened. Not because I had the right words to fix anything, but because sometimes, being heard is enough. That night ended without anything dramatic. No sudden confessions, no promises we weren't ready to make. Just a quiet understanding. But the days that followed, they were different. At the office, everything looked the same. She was still the boss everyone respected, and feared. Her voice was firm, her decisions sharp, her presence commanding. But when our eyes met, there was something unspoken there. Something gentle. Something real. We didn't talk about that night at first. It stayed between us like a secret neither of us wanted to rush. Until one evening, long after everyone had left, I was finishing some work when I heard her voice behind me. You're still here? I turned, slightly surprised. Yeah, just wrapping up. She hesitated for a moment, then walked closer. So am I. There was a pause. Not awkward, just waiting. Do you want to take a break? She asked. I smiled. Only if you promise not to turn it into a meeting. She almost laughed. I think I've had enough meetings for a lifetime. We ended up sitting by the large office window, the city lights stretching endlessly in front of us. It felt strangely similar to that night, quiet, honest, just the two of us. Do you ever think about leaving? She asked suddenly. Leaving what? This life. This routine. Everything. I thought about it for a moment. Sometimes. But I guess I'm still waiting for a reason. She looked at me, her expression softer than I had ever seen it. What if the reason is right in front of you? My heart skipped, but I stayed calm. Then I guess I'd stay. Her eyes didn't leave mine this time. Good, she whispered. That single word carried more meaning than anything else she could have said. In that moment, I understood something important. She didn't need someone to save her. She didn't need someone to fix her life. She just needed someone who wouldn't walk away when she finally let her guard down. And maybe I needed that too. Because sometimes love doesn't come in loud, obvious ways. Sometimes it starts quietly, in a dance, in a whisper, in a moment where someone finally says what they've been holding inside for too long. Please don't leave me. And sometimes, the most powerful answer isn't spoken loudly. It's proven by staying, again and again, even when things aren't perfect. Because real love isn't about perfection. It's about presence.